The night she walked into his life, the city lights shimmered like secrets waiting to be told. She wore confidence like armor, expensive and sharp, while he carried exhaustion like a second skin. Their worlds should never have touched, but kindness has a strange way of crossing lines money can't. What happens when an arrogant billionaire asks a broke single dad for help with the one thing money can't buy? And why does his simple question, "Why me?" change them both forever? Before we begin, if you enjoy heartfelt stories that remind us of our shared humanity, please subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment. Your support helps us keep these stories alive here on your channel name. Now let me tell you a story about kindness. Quiet, powerful, and life-changing. Marcus Reed used to believe life was about endurance. Get up early, work hard, come home late, and do it again. He was 34, a widowed single dad living in a small apartment in Cleveland, Ohio. Every morning, he packed lunches for his 6-year-old son, Eli, kissed his sleepy forehead, and dropped him at school before heading to his job fixing elevators. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills, barely. Marcus hadn't planned on being a single parent. His wife, Hannah, had died 3 years earlier after a sudden illness. Since then, Marcus learned how to braid hair, bake cupcakes for school events, and soothe nightmares at 2 a.m. He learned how to be gentle even when his heart felt heavy. Kindness became his quiet language with the world. Across the country, Vivian Sterling lived a life made of glass and steel. She was a self-made billionaire in tech, known for her sharp tongue and sharper instincts. Magazines called her the Ice Queen of Silicon Valley. She wore tailored suits, never smiled for photos, and fired people without blinking. At 41, Vivian had everything: private jets, oceanfront homes, power. Everything except what she wanted most, a baby. Vivian had buried that longing beneath success for years. She told herself she didn't need anyone, but after a complicated medical diagnosis, she was told her chances of having a child were slim. Adoption agencies rejected her after digging into her demanding lifestyle. Surrogacy contracts fell apart when her expectations crossed into control. Each door closed with a polite email and a colder ache. One rainy evening, her driver took a wrong turn after a charity gala in Cleveland. The car stalled near a modest diner glowing warm against the storm. Vivian stepped inside, irritated and hungry, and ordered coffee she barely touched. That's when she noticed Marcus. He was sitting with Eli, sharing a grilled cheese and laughing softly. The boy dropped his fork, and Marcus didn't scold him. He smiled, wiped the table, and told him it was okay. Vivian watched, confused by the simplicity of it, the warmth, the patience. Without thinking, she walked over. "I want a baby," she said bluntly, startling Marcus. "Can you help?" Marcus blinked. "Excuse me?" Vivian took a breath, clearly not used to explaining herself. "I've tried everything. Doctors, agencies, lawyers. I need someone decent. Someone who knows how to care." Marcus looked at her soaked designer coat, her polished nails, the way she spoke like a command. "Why me?" he asked. Vivian hesitated. No one ever asked her that. "Because," she said slowly, "you didn't yell at your kid." The silence stretched. Marcus felt a knot in his chest. He was no hero. He was tired, broke, and scared of losing the little family he had left. "I'm not for sale," he said gently. "And my son isn't either." Vivian's face flushed. "I didn't mean—" She stopped herself. For the first time in years, she felt embarrassed. "I'm sorry, that was wrong." Marcus nodded. "It happens. People forget how to ask." They talked that night. Really talked. Vivian shared her fear of ending her life alone. Marcus spoke of grief and the strange courage it took to love again after loss. When the driver returned, Vivian left a business card on the table. "Call me," she said. "If not for help, then for coffee." Weeks passed. Marcus didn't call. Life was busy, but Vivian couldn't forget him. She found herself thinking about Eli's laughter, about Marcus's calm strength. For the first time, she wondered if kindness could be learned. Then Marcus lost his job when the company downsized. Bills piled up. One night, staring at the fridge with nothing but milk inside, he remembered the card. He called. Vivian didn't offer money. She offered help. She connected Marcus with a new job through one of her companies. Closer to home, better hours. She paid for Eli's after-school care. She did it quietly, without contracts or strings. Over time, she became a presence in their lives. Awkward at first. She didn't know how to talk to children. But Eli taught her. He showed her how to draw dinosaurs and asked endless questions. Vivian listened. She learned to slow down. One afternoon, Eli asked, "Are you my mom?" Vivian froze. Marcus held his breath. She knelt down. "No, sweetheart. But I care about you." Eli smiled. "That's okay. I have a lot of people who care." That night, Vivian cried alone in her hotel room, not from sadness, but from release. Months later, Vivian made a decision. She began the adoption process again, but this time differently. She invited social workers into her real life, not the polished version. She showed them the community center she funded, the school programs she supported, and the family she'd grown close to. Marcus stood by her, not as a solution, but as support. One spring morning, Vivian received the call. She'd been approved to adopt a newborn baby girl. She rushed to Marcus's apartment, breathless. "I did it," she said, tears shining. They said yes. Marcus smiled, proud. "You did it because you changed," he said, "not because of who you are on paper." When Vivian held her daughter for the first time, she felt something soften inside her. The world didn't need her arrogance. It needed her heart. Years later, people still talk about the billionaire who learned kindness from a single dad. Vivian never married Marcus, but they remained family in every way that mattered. Eli grew up knowing that love isn't about money or power, it's about showing up. And Marcus? He learned that even the hardest hearts can change when met with compassion instead of judgment. So here's the truth this story leaves us with. Kindness doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't care about status or bank accounts. It moves quietly through small moments, changing lives one gentle choice at a time. If this story touched you, take it with you. Be kind when it's easier to be cold. Listen when it's faster to judge. Because sometimes, the smallest kindness becomes the answer to someone's biggest question and changes everything.